Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to AI Tech Tuesdays. I'm Crystal Gonzalez, your host, here with Yamille. Yamille, what do you
Hi.
got today?
Well, we got a good one today. If you've ever sent a quote and never heard back, or had a lead come in and it just went quiet, this episode is for you. Today we're going to talk about why follow-up breaks down in growing businesses and why it's almost never the team's fault.
I'm sorry, what did you say? It's almost never whose fault?
The team.
Oh, the team's fault. That's true. I'm excited to hear about your story. I know you have a story about a little bit about kind of an experience that you went through. So I'm excited for you to share that with our listeners today. Go ahead,
I
Yamil.
yeah, can't wait to talk about it. Okay, so this is for every home service business out there. I'm going to tell a story from a real customer side, me being the customer. My husband and I own an investment property that needed a roof. Well, we thought it was a roof repair, so we were soliciting bids for somebody to come out and give us a bid to repair. So we had our property manager solicit 3 bids from from companies in the area where this property is at. And they all came out and they're like, look, this roof is not fixable. You're going to have to replace it. Great news, right? So we had 3 bids come in. One of them was, I'm the marketer type person, right? So I'm looking at what it looks like. First and foremost, do I trust this person? First of all, first impressions, right? One was beautiful. It was a beautiful proposal, nicely branded. The other one was, looked like it had been written down by a tech who visited the property, kind of handwritten, totally fine. It still had the information that we needed. And the third was actually kind of similar. Fast forward, a few days after they handed us the quotes, we need this roof done ASAP, right? Because the roof is
Yeah.
leaking and the
Mm-hmm.
property is starting to get damaged. So we need somebody quick. Out of the 3, and we're talking a $20,000+ replacement. This is no chump change. This is not a small project. Only
Right.
one ever followed up with us. And he was consistent. He was persistent and consistent. He did it by hand, but he did it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
who did we think about when it was actually the time to pull the trigger and actually get this thing done? It was this guy. And I still remember him because he actually reached out and he said, hey, look, I'm going to be in the area. Would you like for me to come by to your home and talk to you about what this project will take and how much it'll
Right.
be, how long it'll take, blah, blah, blah. And the other people, I don't even remember their names. I don't even remember their names at all. And they lost out. I think in the end, it ended up being $23,000.
Yeah.
You lose one a month, that's 25. You lose two, that's 50 grand. You lose two a month for a year. You do the math. That's what we're
Sure.
looking at when
Sure.
follow up just doesn't happen. The customer's paying attention,
I would
in this
understand though.
particular
I'm
instance. Yeah.
interested in
Yeah.
learning. Okay, so when you reached out for the quotes, did you I know actually I know I'm going to come back to this because there's a new
hmm
feature
hmm
when you're doing a
hmm
search on Google that we want to address. We want everyone to know about
Yes,
that we missed in our
definitely. Definitely.
last episode, but I do want to know, how did you find the companies? How did you search? Did you just go into Google and search for them when you were looking for a
Well,
roofing company?
in this particular case, we actually have a property manager that manages we were in the process of selling it. So actually, in this case, it wasn't the property manager, it was the realtor. And she was the
Okay.
one that actually solicited the bids for us on our behalf and sent them to us directly. But the customer knew our information, they knew our names, they knew our phone number, because how did the other guy find
Mhm.
us, right?
Right.
They had all of our information, and no one except for that one guy.
Wow, what a impressive story to hear, kind of a real life
Mhm,
scenario on what you guys did. But
mhm.
this is happening in the real world to these trade companies, right? We were
Yep.
talking a little bit off camera a few minutes ago, and I think we have talked a lot about this, but how important it is to not just reach out one time. Like for my business, normally I can have a prospect or lead come in. uh, we determine that they are a qualified lead, meaning that they could use our services. We determine that they are a
Mhm.
good lead for us. They are a good prospect. So we decide that we're going to move forward because they meet all the criteria of who our ideal client avatar is and that we want to work with them. But with us, there's a lag time of from when the client usually or the prospect comes to us and wants our services to when we actually provide those services. We've determined it's about 3 months, but with some companies, that's not the case. Your
Hmm.
follow up needs to be, you need to figure out how often you need to be following up with these prospects. What does it look like in your company? In our company, we try to space that follow up accordingly for how long it usually takes for the conversion to happen. And then we want to craft our messages, craft our messaging, and how our sales agents are kind of reaching out to the client. In this case, you used a good example because
Hmm.
he called up and said, I'm going to be in your area. So, he had crafted how he was going to do his follow up. He had his follow ups together. And then he said, I'm going to be out in your area. Do you mind if I just stop by? What are the chances he was actually in the area? He probably wasn't, but he said, I'm going to be in your area so that he
Hmm.
could stop by, he could get that, just get his little foot in the door. And I think that's actually it's
It was
a good trick
effective.
that can be used. It
It
worked.
was
Yeah,
effective.
it worked.
It was effective,
Yeah.
whether, like you said, whether or not he was in the area or was planning on, who knows, maybe he had a few other meetings, or maybe he just did it. Maybe he just decided to come in if we said yes, right? And it worked. He got
Yeah.
he got the projects. He got the 20 whatever thousand it was. It's a lot of money. If it's missed, it really can affect your revenue. But yeah, every company and every business is lead time for from search to purchase is going to be different. In the case of home services and emergency type of services, obviously that's
Hmm.
like, if your pipe is leaking, you need help right
Yeah.
now. Otherwise, your house is going to flood, or you're
Yeah.
going
If
to get
your roof is
rolled, or
leaking,
yeah, you're
if
going to
your
need
roof
help
is
right now.
leaking,
You're
you
going to
need
need
help
as soon as
today.
possible. As soon as
Yeah, we have a
possible. Yeah.
roofing company that we work with. We provide, remote office support for them. And I'll tell you what, they're always watching the weather. They're like, when's it
Hmm.
going to rain? When's the storm coming?
Hmm.
Weather
Hmm.
events are very impact roofing companies, your HVAC companies. If it gets really extremely cold or extremely hot, they're going to have an
Sure.
uptick in the volume of calls coming in. But it's super important that you have a way to capture them. You have an effective follow up
Hmm.
system because they're on the phone calling everybody, trying to get help, trying to get
Right.
quote, you're busy,
Right.
your team is busy. They catch you at a busy time. And guess what? How much of that went out the door? So definitely
Exactly.
effective follow up systems and lead systems are good. Before I forget, let's talk about the change Google made and how this can
Yeah.
affect businesses, especially in the
Yeah.
trades. This is really important.
Definitely. So if you were to go on your phone, now I don't believe that this is the same experience if you go online, but most people are just going to have their phone and they're going to be doing whatever they're doing and thinking about whatever they need. And they're going to be looking for, let's use a plumber, for example. Plumbers near me. Whatever the reason is, you're looking for plumbers near me. Right now, if you do that search on your phone on Google, what you get, I believe it's 4 quotes or 4 estimates or something. Not exactly sure what the verbiage is, but at the very top. So it doesn't really matter if your SEO is on point. It doesn't really matter if your reviews are on point. None of that matters. What matters is they're looking for people or for companies, excuse me, that are going to respond quickly. And how do they know this? Because they already have. And in Google My Business profiles, there are opportunities for connection. So there's chats, there's book online. I don't even think they show the website anymore as one of, especially on mobile, because who cares? All you want to do is call or chat with somebody. If you're on your phone, that is what you're doing. You want to connect with somebody right then and there. And what I'm hearing, I have not experienced this myself, but what I'm hearing is that in the not so distant future, if not, Google's already testing this right now, they're going to be calling businesses to get these
Hmm.
quotes. And if the
Hmm.
business does not answer, do that a few times and your business will never get that phone call again. So essentially, what they're looking to have businesses install is automated answering, like not chatbots, but like voice assistants that
AI
answer the
agent. Hmm.
calls 100% of the time. Because while we're on this topic, did you know that on average, the number of phone calls missed by a business, by businesses in general, is 60%?
Hmm.
60%. Staggering. And it's these calls that businesses are receiving, and I get it. There's a lot of spam calls. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people cold
that's what I was
calling
just gonna
businesses.
say.
I get it, but you can actually install systems that filter all that junk out and actually
Mhm.
let the good ones come in and actually capture what the person on the other side is wanting. You can even make appointments with these things. So just it's not out, it's going to happen someday. It's happening right now. And we're mentioning this because we want to be able to put it out in front of businesses that they need to start preparing for that and actually start
Yes.
taking action towards having these things installed in their businesses because those that don't, they're just going to be skipped when they go to the next. It doesn't matter how good your SEO is. It really just doesn't matter at this point. Or it's probably not going to matter in the future. They want engagement.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
want to.
that's true. And being able
Yeah.
to have, like we've talked about in multiple episodes, systems, your systems need to have data. You have to have the data. The
Mhm.
AI is reading data. So a properly put together business where we're organized with the data that is needed for AI to be able to read it, AI to be able
Mhm.
to give the right responses, making sure we have the guardrails up. Those are all super important things, guys. We're moving quickly. I don't know if you I
Yeah,
like
this is not
Elon Musk.
someday.
Yeah, this is now. I like to listen to Elon Musk just because he's in a lot. There's a lot of AI and tech and everything. He just so much money there behind him. But he just said, "Man, I wake up every day and something new. My team talks to me, or I see a
Hmm.
new thing moving with AI, and it's just mind blowing. We are moving so fast." Anyways, that's my 2 cents. Yamil, you got anything else to share before we end our episode
No, I mean,
today?
I think that really the message that we want to kind of put in front of businesses right now is, this is not a Sunday thing. This is happening right now. And like Crystal said, every day something new. So we just got to put these systems into place to start working for us. And again, this is not to replace your team who you have in place already. It is to make those people that work for you more efficient in actually making revenue rather than dealing with the little things filtering through cold calls that you get 20 of or a day, but you're missing the customers in between because you're not being consistent about that. And there are systems out there to help you make that consistency actually happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And not to replace your team, but I will say that having a team to be able to back you that does have a good grasp on the latest AI and tech is super useful.
mhm,
So having us as be part of your team is an awesome benefit of working with us because we're going to be with your team and you'll want your team to be able to understand more. You don't need specifically to understand more, just the basics of it,
mhm,
skim the surface. That's what you as the business owner, but you'll want your team to be more and more understanding of AI as we move, as things change. And you want to be connected with someone who can help you and help guide your team along those because your team can't spend 24 hours of their day or 8 hours of their day or even maybe 2 hours of the day reading up on all the new latest AI and tech, but your business definitely needs to move in that direction. So that's
exactly,
what we're here
exactly.
for. We want to be your resources. We want to be able to help you. And if you go to aitechtuesdays.com, there's a link to both me and your calendar if you want to meet with us. If you have some questions you want to bounce across us and you're just a little stumped on things, we want to be a resource for you. We want to help you. We want to help our community out there. We're spending a lot of time learning these tools and this tech, and we want to share it with
Mhm.
everyone. So feel free to do that. We also offer a revenue leak audit that we do for free. So we'd love to be able to take a look at your business on the back end and see where you're leaking revenue and where we can help you. Go ahead, Dima.
Absolutely. And I just added a resource for you all as well. It is called a systems check, a systems health check. It's also free. You don't have to pay for it. And we'll run through your systems and actually make a recording and give you suggestions on what can be improved and how to improve it. And then, we can go from there. If you want to talk further, you can. There's not going to be a sales pitch unless you want one. So take advantage of these resources. They are available for you free of charge. Just go to AI Tech Tuesdays and there's a resource tab at the bottom. And you can go ahead and help yourself to the things that we're providing to you.
Yep. We have a lot of resources already there. So head over there
Yes,
and
definitely.
go check them out. I'm sure you guys will love what we got there because they're awesome and we'll continue to build out that library to help business owners and your team members can go in and take a look as well. So, well,
Absolutely.
That's all for
Absolutely.
today's episode, you guys. We love that you joining in and you're listening. We want to be able to help our listeners. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share our channel with a friend if you think that this could be useful for them. That's it for today. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Have a
Bye-bye.
terrific week. Bye.
Bye-bye.